Baptists are not Protestants, because they did not come out of the Protestant Reformation, but have existed independently since the time of Christ. The term Protestant applies to groups that broke away from the Roman Catholic Church during the Reformation, such as Lutherans, Presbyterians, and Anglicans. Baptists, however, were never part of the Catholic Church to begin with, so they had nothing to protest or reform. Baptists were never part of the Catholic Church. Protestants came from Catholicism, trying to reform its false teachings. Baptists, on the other hand, trace their history through true, Bible-believing churches that existed long before the Reformation. Jesus said, "The gates of hell shall not prevail against his church," Matthew 16:18, meaning there has always been a remnant of true believers separate from Catholicism. Baptists reject infant baptism. Protestants, like Lutherans and Presbyterians, hold onto infant baptism, a carryover from Catholic tradition. Baptists reject this unbiblical practice and believe in believers' baptism by immersion. Acts 8:36-38. Following the example of Jesus Christ, Baptists believe in local church autonomy. Most Protestant churches are governed by synods, councils, or denominational hierarchies. Just like the Catholic Church, Baptists believe each church is independent, answerable only to Jesus Christ. Acts 14:23. Baptists have always held to salvation by faith alone, while Protestants rediscovered salvation by grace through faith. Ephesians 2:8-9. During the Reformation, true believers always knew the gospel, even before the reformers. Baptists never needed to reform their doctrine because they never followed Catholic heresies like works-based salvation in the first place. Baptists reject Reformed theology. Many Protestants follow Calvinism, which teaches unbiblical doctrines like limited atonement and predestination to damnation. Baptists believe Christ died for all. 1 John 2:2, and that salvation is freely offered to everyone who believes. Baptists were persecuted by Protestants. If Baptists were Protestants, why did Protestants persecute them? Baptists were imprisoned, tortured, and even killed by Protestant leaders like Martin Luther and John Calvin for rejecting infant baptism and refusing to submit to state churches. True Baptists never joined with Protestants because they saw them as just another branch of Rome. Conclusion: Baptists are not Protestants because they were never part of the Catholic Church, never needed a reformation, and have distinct biblical beliefs that separate them from Protestant denominations. Baptists are not protesters of Rome. They are Bible-believing Christians who have followed the teachings of Christ since the 1st century.